Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
On second down now, it's Carson. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
He was taken down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Flush to his right, and he finds a man. It's Olsen. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
The throw complete to Dorsett.
Wilson.
Second down at 4.
To Philip Dorsett. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4. At the 40.
This is Carson. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. First down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Armadillos 7, Seahawks nothing.
Now it's Carson, and he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 44-yard line.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson looking for the tight end Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Raekwon McMillan.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
So after the INT, it's Allen. Got an open man, it's Ruggs.
Oh, you got to feel it, baby.
And touchdown! Henry Ruggs. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown. And he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
And no return on this one. It's a fair catch, a signal for and take it.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10. At their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. They'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. Keep in mind, he had the 3-interception game last week, so we requested to talk with him this week. He was all smiles. He's still all smile.
43-yard line.
Yeah, we didn't jinx him at all, did we?
No.
Because ordinarily that happens. Things fall off, but not in this case. I think a lot of it goes back to his technique. His ability to see the quarterback throw the ball while understanding what the receiver is running his route allows him to make a lot of plays on the football, and he's taking it away at a really high rate.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Allen off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down.
That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 1.
They'll run the option on 3rd and short yardage. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. They go with Jacobs. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. They come up short here on 4th down. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 24. He gives it off to Carson. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Corey Littleton there on the tackle.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
They had 3 yards on 1st down, just 1 yard there.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The 2 veterans there, Wilson to Olsen for a Seattle 1st down. Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. It's David Arnett picking it up. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
1st down, and they're going to throw with Allen. Airing this one out for Evans. And double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jamal Adams. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions quote-unquote go away. That means your defense, they've got to go out there and sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And the Seahawks.
2 minutes to play, 1st half. It's 14-0. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches at the 50-yard line.
They run it with Carson, and he'll get it down to the 47 here. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. Here's Wilson. Flushed out right. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by the linebacker, Raekwon McMillan. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. We haven't even escaped. The 1st half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the 1st half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's got to make some some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time. Ran a perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. As he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Eluding the pressure right. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 16 yards, a first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Steps away to his left. Now he'll square up and throw deep left sideline. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. The intended receiver that time was Josh Jacobs. And now it's second down. Throwing again. Allen. Reception here by Rose. And they are into field goal range now as he's got the first down at the 26. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. That's going to be caught. It's so close. He gets it to the one. Out of bounds right there. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Boston, first down. First and goal at the 1-yard line.
They get this out left. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Michael Gallup in the final seconds of the first half. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And it is now 21-0.
Makes the score Armadillos 21. Seahawks nothing.
So time it up for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Taking about 7 yards deep. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
At their own 22-yard line.
On the ground, Jacobs will get the third quarter started. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
The ball carrier.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Now this throw caught left side. And he goes out of bounds falls just shy of the 45. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him? Double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
I'll tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh, my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Not much there, only a yard.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. From the gun, it's Allen. Oh, he's thinking end zone for Evans. Be intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a good turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well. So where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
At the 18-yard line.
On 2nd and 12, Wilson out to the right. He gets it to Lockett. And he's able to get up here to the 26.
It's a gain
8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been any. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And the interception last time on the opponent's side of the field, certainly not what they wanted.
Put it mildly, that is so frustrating because that signifies there's a drive going on. You're in a good spot, great place to run some of your best offense. Instead, they turn the ball over.
They turned the ball over last time. See if they can avoid doing it here. Now this time, Allen will throw, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
And they work it across midfield inside the 45.
That's good.
They pick up 11 in addition to moving the chains.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he finds Grove. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. And a huge play that time. 44 yards.
1-yard line.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal.
Allen going to try and keep it.
Now running with Jacobs. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Josh Jacobs hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. And he's got it up and through.
Makes the score Armadillos 28. Seahawks nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. taken in the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards.
Their own 21-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Oh, man, open down the middle of the field. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
This throw complete. Wilson finding Lockett. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
3 at the 44-yard line.
On second down, it's Carson. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
If they're going to get a first down out of this, they're going to have to earn it because there's been tough going in the interior there. And here we are on 3rd and 1. Be prepared. Brace yourself. Going to be some contact going on.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. With the score, Armadillos 28, Seahawks.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They run again with Carson. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill it. And got his man complete. And he's got some space here. Touchdown. Henry Ruggs, his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 11 on the year, as his guys continue to pour it on. I'm not sure what other ground there is to cover here. I mean, this offense has been amazing. Just total domination, Charles.
They've clicked so well, and if you really focus in on the offensive line, they've protected well when they wanted to throw the ball. They've moved people off the line of scrimmage when they wanted to run it. Smiles all the way around. This offense has been really good in this one.
And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them. Too many zeros on the stat sheet thus far. No touchdown passes, no points for his team, but he remains undaunted. Still attempting to get his team on the scoreboard, firing the ball downfield.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On 1st down, Allen. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. L.J. Collier coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. Fair catch called for and taken just inside the 10-yard line. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Now Wilson on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Raekwon McMillan just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now Wilson back into his end zone. Buying time. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. And this is picked up by the defense. And they are going to take possession of the football inside the 15 at the 14-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. Here's Allen following the fumble recovery. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Darren Waller, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
To throw again. Allen. It is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. The offense on 3rd down, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. So the shotgun snap to Allen. This is caught. Gronkowski. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2.
1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. As that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one? You're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review.
And this will make it into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Wilson throwing quickly out to Lockett. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this will be down just on the other side of midfield.
Guys take over 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Gronkowski, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some 1st downs, just as good as running the football. Throwing is Allen on 3rd. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Trey Flowers picks it. And now look at him go. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. After the interception, here's Wilson. And this is caught, so they do get the 2. Still a very large deficit, but maybe something to feel a little better about. So despite the huge deficit, they're going to keep fighting. Here comes the onside kick. And this one won't bounce their way. It's covered up by the hands team. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
So Allen's going to look to throw. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill. But remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes. And that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
Gold with the extra point, and the lead will swell by one more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to... And my goodness, another interception. It's David Arnett picking it up. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase them.
And now here's another interception. Jonathan Abram picks it, and that will write a finish to this ball game. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy,